What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Marcus, and welcome to Real Unapologetic. Today we're doing something a little bit different. Traditionally, we just simply react to movie trailers and things of that nature. Today, we're going to be reacting to some news concerning Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. Now, if any of you guys know me or my friends and my family, you know I hold Chadwick Boseman in high regard, high esteem. I also enjoyed the Black Panther 2 movie. So this is right in my wheelhouse. Well, a friend of mine sent this to me and said, "Hey man, would you mind reacting to it?" I said, "Of course. What is it?" So I clicked it open and I saw, oh, definitely got to react to this. Definitely got to. So I stopped it, didn't watch anything. I think I got like 2 seconds of the actual intro to it. And I said, no, got to be true to what I say. So didn't watch it. So I have no idea what's going on with the trailer or the video. So we're going to find out together. Now, it is courtesy of Emergency Awesome, outstanding YouTube channel, YouTuber Charlie. If you guys haven't subscribed to his link in his videos, do yourself a favor and do it. He does a lot of yeoman's work. He gets in there in the weeds and in the details, and he fleshes out a lot of things that allow folks like me to react to that. So kudos to him for doing this. I am a subscriber of his, so please do the same. I'll put the link below. But as always, this video, as all our reaction videos that are done on this channel, we have not seen it. So you're seeing it with me and with us when my brother Michael joins us or anyone else. So with that said, let's get into this video and find out what is going on, because I want to know. First off, great intro, man. Brings back those feelings. Just that alone. Just that alone. Well done, sir. Well done. Well done. All right.
Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be my new Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever first look breakdown. There's a bunch of teasers and scenes that they've been filming we got to look at, so I'll explain what's going on. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs here and a couple of really big surprises about characters that I was not expecting to be in the movie. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. They'll be filming the movie for a while, so we will be getting a bunch more scenes from the movie, learning.
This is why his channel is awesome. This is why. Putting in the work, researching it, fact checking it, and then bringing it to us. I applaud him. Once again, thank you, man. All right, let's continue.
A lot more about what's actually going on with the film. You may have also seen that it is the anniversary of Chadwick Boseman's passing, so may he rest in peace. A lot of the cast and crew have been posting fond memories of him, and obviously Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler, the director, has spoken a lot about how they're going to use the plot of Black Panther 2 to honor both Chadwick Boseman's memory and the memory of T'Challa, because
Ryan
they will not be
Coogler,
recasting the character. In one of the new scenes that we've gotten a look at is in honor of Chadwick Boseman's memory, like there's a big Easter egg honoring his memory. So if you look here, this is just the normal throne room from the Black Panther movie in Avengers Infinity War, but what you might notice is that there's a brand new inscription on the pillars here that was not in the Black Panther movie or Avengers Infinity War. The inscription here is written in their main Wakandan language. They actually have multiple dialects that they speak around the nation of Wakanda, but Wakandan is kind of like their common language that they all speak on top of all the dialects. And in their language, the inscription reads, "Rest in power, King T'Challa, our hero. It has been an honor, Wakanda forever." So it's them saying it's been an honor to Chadwick Boseman in real life, but also within the context of the movie, they're paying honor to his passing. Even though Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige said that they would honor Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa's memory during the movie, they didn't say exactly what they would be doing to address what happened to the character within the MCU. But I think logically, a lot of us were assuming, because Namor seems like he's such a big part of the film as an antagonist, that they would just pin his death on Namor. I'll address that again in a second when I talk about the other Namor stuff that we got to look at. But the next really big scene that we actually got to look at, this first look, is in Cambridge, Massachusetts' MIT. They're filming the movie in Atlanta, but they're making it look like MIT University. And as you probably saw, it's all about introducing a really huge new surprise character I totally didn't expect to be in the movie. So this is Shuri in the middle of a huge chase scene on a motorcycle, jumping it onto a military tank while also being chased by the local police. So you ask, why is Shuri having a huge chase scene through MIT? It's all about the surprise brand new character, Riri Williams, played by Dominique Thorne. That's right, Ironheart is going to get her introduction, or a version of her origin story, during Black Panther 2. This is...
Okay. Michael and I, a few videos back, we actually broke that news. It was already out there, so breaking it might be a stretch. We discussed it a little bit. So, yes, Riri is coming, which we already knew, but the fashion in which and the manner in which she was going to be brought was always a little question. Was she going to show up originally just in her TV show, or would they bring her, introduce her into a huge blockbuster movie? Because you heard it here first, guys. Black Panther 2 is going to be $1 billion+ film, just like the predecessor. So they're going to anchor her by introducing her in this film, and then anchor her so that her show will probably, come out the gate swinging, right? Anytime you tether these characters to the bigger projects, it makes their individual solo efforts that much more powerful as far as a viewing audience and stuff like that. We'll know who they are. They won't be as obscure. So kudos to Marvel for being smart with this, introducing her, because I anticipate her having a cult following as soon as we see her, because I think we're going to fall in love with her as a character, because if you've read any of her comics, she's brilliant. She is brilliant. So do yourself a favor, guys. Go do a little research on her. Her and Tony Stark, they're some of the smartest individuals in the MCU, probably in the world. And that is obviously no shine against Shuri, who is a badass in her own right and is obviously smart, brilliant. So seeing those two connecting together, Shuri and Riri together, I wonder if Shuri's gonna have kind of maybe a mentor role to her. Maybe she'll get some vibranium armor. Maybe. Definitely some upgrades. Or maybe this is where she gets her suit. Part of it, right? Like maybe she has one and then she gets this right here makes this video so interesting, because I already have questions. And if you guys know me, I have a ton of questions. But enough rambling. Let's get back to the video.
The scene of Shuri and Okoye spying on her from a distance, just trying to figure out what her deal is. Like you can see Dominique Thorne's Riri Williams just walking across campus in the middle of the day. And this is what she's actually going to look like during the movie. They haven't said how big her character is supposed to be during the film, but these scenes that they're filming here are scenes taken directly out of her origin story with a few minor changes. In the comics, she was an MIT undergrad in their engineering program, and getting to the Iron Man of it all, because she kind of flows from the Iron Man mythology in the comics. The whole connection between her armor and Iron Man, their characters. You remember during the first Iron Man movie, at the beginning when he's getting that award in Vegas, they read a little of his history up to the point when he's a child, when he goes through school, how he created all these advanced engineering designs when he was just a little kid, then eventually graduated from MIT when he was only 16 years old. Big deep cut reference, if you remember that movie Real Genius from the 80s, it's a cool Val Kilmer 80s movie. Imagine Tony Stark is a character during that, and because of when that movie was made, Robert Downey Jr. could have actually shown up during that. Just a bunch of really smart kids in an engineering program getting into all kinds of trouble. Riri Williams doesn't have any of the boozy, ne'er-do-well vibe of Tony Stark. She does get into a lot of trouble, but she's not quite as misbehaved as Tony Stark was growing up. But just like him, and like Shuri in the MCU, she creates all these advanced armor designs, dumpster dive homebrew builds herself a pretty decent armor suit Mark I while she's in the middle of term at MIT. So you remember Iron Man's Mark I in the cave scene, him coming out? It was this very lo-fi version that he just cobbled together with what he had available. She kind of does her own version of that scene, but some of her designs incorporate Stark Tech cast-offs, stuff that she's managed to salvage. So when she tests the armor, like she has her own version of the cave scene, busting out and flying around, it shows up on Iron Man's detection systems, and he goes to check out what the hell's going on, just playing it off like he's paying a casual visit to his alma mater. You have to imagine a scene kind of like when he was showing off the barf tech during Captain America Civil War, going back to his school, issuing more grant money for the university to just disguise what he was really doing there. But a bunch of time went by, they had their own Civil War II event in the comics, he winds up almost dying, putting his body into stasis, activating a digital AI backup of his consciousness. Now, as far as we know, Robert Downey Jr. isn't coming back to the MCU, which is why it seems like they're sort of incorporating more Black Panther, Wakanda, and Shuri stuff in the Iron Man role that he served during the Ironheart comics. But after a big time jump, Iron Man's AI consciousness shows up to Riri Williams while she's still tinkering with her own armor designs and offers to mentor her, finance her research until she eventually creates the Ironheart armor from the comics, taking that name. So in the Black Panther 2 MCU version of this origin story, they're adding in all the Shuri, Black Panther, and Wakanda stuff. There were a lot of people early on after the first Black Panther movie came out, and they saw that she was basically like a version of Iron Man Tony Stark inside Wakanda, saying, why don't they just make Shuri the MCU version of Ironheart? Because she already creates all these armor suits that are on par with Iron Man's designs using vibranium. She's like the smartest person on the planet next to Iron Man, and eventually Reed Richards when we meet him during the new Fantastic Four movie. But then Marvel announced that they were doing a full-blown Ironheart Disney Plus series and an Armor Wars series with Rhodey, and Chadwick Boseman passed away, so Marvel's plans make a little more sense now with the way they're changing all these adaptations from the comics. Shuri's path in the comics originally was to become the next Black Panther after T'Challa passed the mantle to her. That happened while he was still alive in the comics. At the time, he just felt like being king and being Black Panther was too much for him to do both jobs at 100%, so he passed the mantle of Black Panther to her and just focused on being king of Wakanda for a brief period. Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler already made it very clear that they're not going to recast T'Challa in the MCU, meaning that the MCU needs a new Black Panther. And right now, without confirmation of a multiverse version of Killmonger showing up or a secret T'Challa love child with some woman surfacing, Shuri is the best candidate for that. So that's probably the main reason why Shuri just isn't going to become the Ironheart of the MCU. But clearly what it seems like they're changing about Ironheart's backstory is that instead of Iron Man's digital consciousness showing up to peep what she's doing with Stark Tech armor designs, it's Shuri and Okoye showing up to see what she's doing with her technology. Because this is MIT and this has a deep connection to the Iron Man character and so much of her character flows from Iron Man in the comics, I said there'll probably be some Easter eggs for Iron Man during all this. Like Tony Stark did fund a bunch of free education for a ton of kids at MIT and other big schools, ton of scholarships. So it's possible that MCU Riri Williams got into MIT on a version of the Stark Industries internship program, like the big Spider-Man joke. The internship started out as a fake thing, just an excuse that they used to trick Aunt May before she learned the truth about Peter working with Iron Man and the Avengers. Then inside the MCU movies, they actually turned the joke into a real thing, taking those funny pictures to help provide some plausible evidence to hide Spider-Man's identity. Turns out that didn't work too well, but they did wind up using this funny picture as an emotional call to action for him during Avengers Endgame to solve the time travel riddle. But because he's dead in present day, and Robert Downey Jr. doesn't seem like he's rushing to come back anytime soon, they're using Shuri, the Black Panther characters, as part of Riri Williams' origin story. So when she eventually creates her full Ironheart armor, like her version of the Mark 3.0 in the comics, it'll probably be more inspired by vibranium and Wakandan technology. Like they're shifting her character from more of an Iron Man character to more of a Black Panther character. And they'll probably connect the Ironheart Disney Plus series with the Armor Wars series, bringing it back around to the Iron Man of it all. But the Armor Wars series will mostly be based on the original comics, during which Justin Hammer buys a bunch of illegal copies of Iron Man's armor designs, including the really advanced models. They keep bringing back those Marvel Phase 1 characters like the Abomination, so they might bring Justin Hammer back for the MCU version of Armor Wars. But I'm expecting Rhodey to cameo during the Ironheart series when they get to that, like his cameo scene during Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I'm also expecting Ironheart to then show up during the Armor Wars series at some point. But moving into more of the Black Panther versus Namor.
Interesting. What are you guys' thoughts and feelings about Shuri becoming Black Panther? I know that there's a wide range of emotions concerning what happens with the Black Panther title. I don't need anyone to lecture me on what Chadwick Boseman meant to the role. I've heard folks say it should be more like a James Bond type role where different actors can become that character. Well, Kevin Feige's already said they're not going to recast it, so we can stop that speculation. What I'm asking is, what do you think if Shuri takes up the mantle? Because I am all for it. It makes logical sense from the comics. I think she'll be wonderful in the role. She has gravitas and the weight. She can play that character. So I'm really interested to see how that's gonna go. Once this video is up, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But I just want to put those little nuggets out there for the folks that's watching. Be thinking about it and then drop some comments about it. Okay? But let's bring up Namor. This Namor coming to the MCU. I love it. I love it.
Of it all. The new Namor stuff that we got to look at recently is them filming more underwater scenes for the movie for more of the Atlantean stuff. I've already done a bunch of videos about Namor in the movie, so I'll link them below in the description. There have been a bunch of reports about Tenoch Huerta from Narcos Mexico playing their MCU Namor, and them playing it as more of an antagonist than the MCU. Them doing Namorita, along with a couple Atlantean warlords from the comics. So the way they're just presenting his character, it really does seem like they intend on paying off that Easter egg from Avengers Endgame when Okoye ignored the quote-unquote underwater earthquake.
Reading on those tremors?
It was a mild subduction under the African plate.
Do we have a visual? How are we handling it?
Net. It's an earthquake under the ocean.
We handle
it by not handling it.
Turns out maybe she should have checked that out. Like I said, my assumption right now for the way they're going to handle T'Challa's character transitioning to the realm of the ancestors is that it'll have something to do with Namor, some sort of retribution that he's seeking. The rivalry between their two characters goes way back in the comics. Speaking of Doctor Strange, I do have more Spider-Man No Way Home videos that I'm working on that'll post soon, and my What If Episode 4 video, that's going to be the Doctor Strange episode, that'll post on Wednesday just like normal. Make sure you have alerts enabled for my channel so you don't miss those, and click here to learn what's going on with the Sinister Six during Spider-Man No Way Home, and click here for my full Spider-Man No Way Home trailer breakdown. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and Wakanda forever.
Okay, there you have it. He succinctly broke it down, gave you some of his thoughts and some of his opinions. Me personally, I love the direction that they're going with it. I think it's vitally important that you give Riri an injection. And what I mean by that, put her in this film, in this franchise, right? Initially, that's where you introduce her, so that people will be familiar with her character, so that when she moves over to Disney Plus with her own Ironheart show, people will know who the heck she is, right? Not everyone reads comics 24 hours a day, checks online 24 hours a day. They have other lives and other things going on. So let's do this character justice by giving her the widest audience possible initially, so that people can know her, fall in love with her, and then when they'll follow her, more than likely they'll follow her over to her series, so that it'll get a strong opening as well. So kudos to Kevin Feige and the other teams that put that thought together. Obviously Ryan Coogler, that's my guy. If you haven't seen any of his movies, please check it out. Him and Michael B. Jordan, they collab a lot. That was one of the reasons Michael B was cast as Killmonger in the BP1, because him and Ryan Coogler had done work, Fruitvale Station. But moving on, how do you guys think that they're going to introduce Namor? Right, we get the vibes that he might be an enemy, right? That in itself, I mean, is it going to be a tie-in with the snap? Right, they put all that together, and that's going to cause some kind of antagonizing thing. Because to be completely honest with you, they didn't. I don't know if they were planning on getting a Namor in Black Panther 1 as soon as they're getting there, right? So there was no. I didn't see any Easter eggs. If you guys saw any Easter eggs to Namor in Black Panther 1, let me know. I didn't personally see them, and I don't think anybody was doing any kind of reactions about it at that time. So be interested to see. But I will say this. I love where they're going with it. There's only so much they can do, because losing Chadwick, you know that he was going to be the linchpin for a trilogy of Black Panther movies. You know it. You and I both know it. So for his death, for them to have to retool it, the emotional toll that it took on the cast, the emotional toll it took on the director, Ryan, to have to write this and write his boy out of the role. And then to put emotion into it so that it resonates, that it makes sense from a narrative standpoint. That right there is what's making me really interested about seeing this film. I'm already at a 9 right now. It's Black Panther 2. So I'm interested to see what happens with Shuri. Is she going to want to take the mantle? If it's offered to her, is she going to want to compete? What about M'Baku? Is he someone that can come in and potentially be king temporarily while Shuri sorts out her role, her lane? Because in the first Black Panther, Shuri never struck me as the person that wants to be queen. I think she was loving her role being the tech genius, while her brother was having all the kingdom responsibilities, right? She could just focus on what she felt that she wanted to do, which is perfectly fine. But now the kingdom is going to return to her. How's she going to react to that? Is she going to want the role? I don't sense that she's going to shirk the responsibility, though. I just don't. And Letitia Wright playing this character, this is right in her wheelhouse. She will chew those scenes up. I believe that with every fiber of my being. Now, how's that gonna work when they introduce Riri? Is Shuri gonna be like a big sister? Okoye gonna be potentially a surrogate mom for her, which that in itself would be a dynamic to see. Okay, Okoye doing that, right? Danae Guerrero can definitely do that. She can do that. She is awesome. If you've never seen her on The Walking Dead, she can do it. So they've got the right characters and the right actresses in their roles, respectively, to be able to chew through these scenes and just own every single second that they're on it. So I want to see how they react with Riri. How does Riri react to them? Because I imagine she doesn't know about Wakanda. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, right? So let's see. Does she need Wakanda because of a power source to operate her version of her Mark 1? Those are questions that I want to see how Ryan Coogler answers those. Now, segueing into Namor. Like I said, how's his role going to be? How does he fit narratively in all this? Obviously, he's going to be the antagonist, but he's going to be the only antagonist. And then they rein him in as an ally later. Or is that going to be for follow-up movies? Are there going to be potentially any other Avengers popping in? One of the things I love about Black Panther 1, they didn't lean on other Avengers. So I'm guessing that they feel that the product's strong enough, they don't need them. So that's my opinion. But I'm looking forward to this movie. Thank you, Emergency Awesome, for providing this video for me to react to. You are one in a million, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you guys can see, I'm rocking my Buccaneers attire. We had a game tonight. So as soon as I watched the game, I wanted to shoot this video and get the information out to you guys as soon as possible. So as you can see, I'm still rocking it. But I also want to thank the Houston Texans for hosting my team, giving us a very spirited game. Kudos to the Bucs for winning that game. Tom Brady was awesome. Wide receiving core was awesome. The entire output of the offense, first team offense, was great. So if you guys didn't have pleasure to watching that game, please do yourself a favor and watch it. And the Houston Texans acquitted themselves very well. They played great too. So once again, thank you guys and thank them. But segueing on, this back to Black Panther. This looks like it's gonna be something that it's gonna break the bank. I know it's gonna be $1 billion+ film. I'm thinking somewhere around the 1.3, 1.4 billion, possibly more. Because I know there's gonna be a pent-up demand to see it. 22 can't get here soon enough. But with that said, guys, thank you as always for taking a few minutes watching my video. Please be so kind and like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Send me some comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, if you have any theories that you want to send me, let me know. That's how I got this information here to do it, right? Because I wasn't planning on doing this. So I got the message. I said that maybe you should. So that's how we got here. So please do that for me. And also go to Emergency Awesome's page, like his videos, and comment, subscribe, all that. Follow us on Twitter, all of our social media sites. And as always, be safe out there. Be blessed. And as always, until the next time.